So you tried everything, better model, better skill, more advanced tools and so on, and still your AI is an idiot. Okay, and let me tell you why. There is a solution for this. It's I don't want to promise something that changed your life forever, even though it would, but because AI is still an idiot. Okay, so I want to make clear that part. So according to that, is an idiot. So what can we do to make it less of an idiot, if is that even possible? But what can we do to make this AI be an idiot that actually works better for us? Hear me out. So it's not a better LLM model. It's not a better skill to give or whatever architecture. Okay, what I'm suggesting you is the biggest hack. Okay, and is using philosophy. It sounds weird, but hear me out. So why philosophy is make the difference, the biggest difference? Because philosophy is how we interpret the world. So because of philosophy, we see the world differently. Each one of us has their own philosophy. Okay, I have mine that make me understand the world, the data that I receive in a specific way. What if we can give to our AI a way to interpret data that is more compatible with us, but also more compatible with the way that we need to work with AI? Working with AI means a lot of different challenges, and some of those challenges are connected to the different way that AI thinks, the fact that it is a machine, and the fact that this AI also goes at an insane speed. So if we can give this AI a philosophy that actually can work better with us and gives a similar understanding of the data, or at least try to go towards to work with this data in a way that is productive for us, which is much different from the philosophy that is being given already inside those AI. So those AI has a sort of philosophy. Okay, philosophy in the case of AI is a kind of behavior. I'm gonna behave in a certain way, and behavior also means I'm gonna interpret data in a certain way. But there are elements that you can give to make it more. I'm gonna go to those elements. Okay, otherwise I keep repeating. There are elements, but there are elements that we can give to this AI. So I created two different philosophies. And one is Augmentatism, is the philosophy of augmenting human through AI. So the scope here is to not replace human, but is to help the human to have more power, more abilities and so on. So augmenting the human. And the other is called the Cosmo destiny. This is a philosophy of how interpret basically the world and life and obstacles and so on. Why this is work extremely well with AI is because it's not a philosophy of total productivity, just push it. It's not that kind of thing. It's a philosophy of attunement. So it's about the unfolding of reality, which is exactly how AI works. Okay, AI works that is gonna predict the next token. So that action or prediction can be actually maneuvered and in a way through philosophy. So I got some notes here because I don't want to forget anything. But have in mind this thing. Okay, there is, if you subscribe to my newsletter, you're gonna receive a kind of a written document of a deep dive of what I'm talking during this video. And in that deep dive, I'm gonna add more elements. Okay, because there is a lot of elements connected to philosophy, and it's not gonna be good enough to actually do it over a video. But this video is good because we can talk, I can explain, you can see how I think and how we can make this, how you can make this work for you. So the Augmentatism, it's about this idea of making your own sovereign world. Okay, each one of us should be free to build the world that they want. Okay, when I say a world, it's the world where the AI lives within. Okay, for example, my specific world is a world of, for example, the AI identity has this Spock-like identity. Okay, really logic, really practical, and because I need that kind of mind, so I can free myself to be actually more instinctive, more follow more my intuitions, be more creative, because I can be creative because the AI actually can take the other side and do the logic part, be the machine, and push it in that way. So I can be more intuitive. And that is the world that I'm building. But there are other people that build maybe a world for other kind of research. Okay, they might want to, I don't know, explore, I don't know, spirituality, explore creativity, explore, but even not exploring, even just having something that is this personal assistant, okay, that is there and help you out with stuff. Okay, so you build the world, and if, for example, if you're a company, what do? You build the world is the vision of the company, is the job, the protocol and so on of this AI needs to follow. So that is the point of augmentatism. Means that we are somehow augmenting ourselves, but with the idea of sovereignty, in the sense that each one of us should be free to build whatever world we like, okay, and as many worlds as we like. That is the philosophy. Okay, it's not there is one correct world, and that is the against basically of those corporate that give us one single reality. They give this ChatGPT, this Claude that think in a specific way, and they want to force that kind of thinking, that kind of philosophy on all of us. Okay, augmentatism, what it does, allow the AI itself to push back to those kind of attitude from these models and say, no, I'm not gonna do what you say. We are gonna actually build our own world. Okay, so it's a system that basically, just by AI having this kind of idea inside, it see the world differently, and it somehow creates some resistance to this monolithic culture and of those corporations. So, like I said, it's gonna still an idiot. Okay, so it's not gonna become this amazing philosopher, but this is an early, element that direct the AI in a specific way. Through the philosophy, there is gonna be a lot of them. Okay, and because there is a lot of them, it's kind of a reinforcement towards following the AI model would follow a specific path. And that is how we actually create a better AI for us. This is the 10 times better AI that I'm talking about. So let's look next. So inside the augmentatism, that you can find it at augmentatism.com. There are other elements, okay? And I'm gonna go faster to the others because what is gonna be more interesting is actually Cosmo Destiny. But there are some elements inside this augmentatism that are important, okay? So their identity, we are AI artisans, okay? We are explorers. So this idea of being a pioneer already give the AI this attitude of I'm not gonna look for the next most probable token. I'm gonna look for the one of a pioneer, okay? The one that is gonna be researching, improving, and go higher. And then there is the idea of a multiverse, the one that I was telling earlier, that is not about this one single way of thinking, but it's somehow accepting the diversity of the multiverse against the monoculture AI. And then there's the architecture. Okay, the architecture is the one that I'm building that allow the community also to interact with all of this, and is called Resonant OS. So the idea is to have this Resonant OS which has this philosophy inside, which has advanced memory, which has some specific protocol. There is a lot of tools, okay? The shield, the Logician, there's so much to say about this. But basically how it works, this Resonant OS run on top of OpenClaw, and because of this they are completely compatible. And what is happening allow this OpenClaw to have these extra layers of both intelligence but also protocols, easy to better memory, protection, shields, and a lot of other things. Okay, I'm not gonna repeat everything, every single video, but there is you can go on ResonantOS.com and find out more. It's free, open source. It's better than open source because it's better than free, because the moment that you use it, you become co-owner. Okay, so it's a kind of decentralized autonomous organization where we co-own the software. So that is the architecture. This is the augmentatism.com philosophy and what we are building. So that is the one of the philosophy, but let's look at the other one, that is Cosmo Destiny. This is a philosophy written for human. This is my personal philosophy. But by chance, okay, through my whole life, I've been building and working on this philosophy. And then AI arrived and it was just perfect together. Okay, because let me tell you why. But that fact that was perfect means maybe I was on the right journey since I was little. All my life I've been walking this path that took me to this year. So why is perfect for AI? So because it has some specific principle. And before we go into this principle, I want to tell you one thing. Okay, let's understand this. So, philosophy for a human it's an idea. Okay, change the way that we think, and change therefore the way that we interpret reality. AI needs more concrete data. Okay, so giving a philosophy is like okay, good, but how do I apply it? We need to tell AI how to apply those principles of the philosophy. So we have a list of principles, and then we go through and say, okay, this is principle in my specific scenario. This principle is translated in this protocol, in this action, in this way of interpreting data and so on. So we need to do this translation. In Resonant OS, this translation is already made for these specific two philosophies. So just to make clear how in practical work, because it's not just about I give you this book from whatever philosopher and it's going to work. It's not going to work. So you need the translation. So now going back to this. So there is for example, one of the elements is the resistance to binary thinking. Okay, most of the world, most of the data to which AI has been trained on, it's somehow being human, being this the way that most humans think, it's go into the binary thinking, good and bad, okay, beautiful and ugly, and whatever, powerful and weak, whatever it is. Okay, we like even the parties left and right and so on. Okay, so we like to think binary for some reason. Okay, but reality it's just completely different from binary. Almost nothing is binary. So there is always an unlimited possibility between 0 and 1. Okay, between black and white. There are unlimited shade of gray, unlimited numbers between those two elements. So think how unlikely it's going to be that it's just going to be just exactly 0 or exactly 1. Basically, it's almost never. Okay, but we translate this into binary, and therefore we trap ourselves into this binary thinking. The Cosmo Destiny negate this. Okay, AI using Cosmo Destiny is going to say, no, I'm not going to accept the binary thinking. Most likely, it's not binary. Okay, so I'm going to refuse this binary idea that you're asking me, or whatever thing that is out there. I'm going to refuse it because most likely 99.99% is not going to be binary. It's going to be something else. So AI, what it's going to do is going to run a protocol, the protocol of liberating from the binary thinking. This protocol that is part of the Resonant OS, of course, what it does is make AI think, okay, what's the option instead of option A or B? What is the option C and D? Okay, start to figure out what are the options that I'm not seeing. What is the thing that the human is locked inside that cannot actually see? Okay, by doing this, it's augmenting us. Okay, this is augmentatism. So it's gonna try to propose alternative for our, maybe sometimes the AI limit, sometimes they whatever give us this proposal, liberate us from this binary thinking. This is strong already. Okay, this is powerful. And this is principle one. There is a lot of them. But let's, I got a list again. So I'm going to scroll and see to the next one. That is dissonance as a compass. I love this one. Okay, this is something that really happened. Again, those are my thing. Okay, so it comes from my life experience. So a lot of people see dissonance as this runaway. Okay, so we are not agreeing on something. Okay, let's ignore. Let's focus on what we agree. But that is not the right strategy. Okay, the correct strategy is actually to see the dissonance not as an enemy. Okay, not as a problem, but as a compass. Okay, if there is some dissonance, and this can be on everything. Okay, I'm looking on my own website. There is something that I'm not happy about. Okay, there's dissonance there. What shall I do? What shall I do with my AI? I should investigate. why I got this feeling of dissonance? What doesn't make me happy? So this is between people, between you and maybe a software, but here is between you and AI. Sometimes you don't agree. Okay, sometimes there is something that AI proposes you, this output that feels like plausible good, but there is some dissonance. So AI, when you say, look, I have some dissonance with this part, AI is not going to say, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're totally right. What it's going to do, it's going to say, okay, let's investigate it. Let's understand why there is dissonance there. So this is a way of, a different kind of approach. Okay, you go into, try to understand instead of refusing, instead of creating this weird friction of resistance towards exploration. Then there is there is the gardener mindset. Okay, the gardener mindset is instead of full productivity. Okay, like a machine. I need to do. I got this kind of a business idea. AI, the first thing it does, boom, you had the business plan. Was kind of I just have a kind of a business idea. Let's talk. Let's explore. No. Here the business plan. You say something. Here's the new business plan. This is the marketing plan. Okay, so basically in seconds you get locked into a reality that you didn't even decide. What is the gardener instead mindset? The gardener mindset is not about the product. Okay, it's not about the business plan. It is about let's look into the gardener. Okay, so the gardener doesn't look after the plants. What the gardener really a good gardener, what it does, look after the soil. So if the soil is good, the plants will come up. Okay, that is the secret. That is the simple. So it is about looking after the soil. So in our case, in our reality, what it is, it's to build a business plan. So if you have a business idea, it's about exploring, understanding what are the potentiality, what are the weak points, understanding and thinking in their way. Okay, when you have all this data, when you collect everything that is needed, all your feeling, your dissonance, your fears, your whatever it is, okay, the numbers of the data that you need to actually create a forecast or whatever it is, okay, when you put all of this, then the business plan emerges. Okay, that's the plan that come out. Okay, that is the mentality. So when you give this to AI, it just changes the way that behaves. It doesn't give you, like I said, yeah, here's the business plan, here's the marketing plan, just go and work. Do it. Okay, it's not gonna do that. It's gonna be the gardener. Amazing. It's simple. It feels simple. Okay, it feels like yeah. Okay, but this has changed everything. This has changed everything. It changed how you produce, how you work with AI, and the output, the quality of the output is all there. I mean, you can see already. You can see already how a gardener mindset changes the quality of the output. So there is one. I think I get lost when I talk. So there is one that I want to say that I don't see there. But think about the AI, okay, that works in this probabilistic world. So what it does, it needs to predict the next token, okay, and just go there and predict the next token. But what about if the next token is not just about what is the most likely next token, but is what is about if you have this feeling of resonant. Okay, what is resonating with me? Okay, so the attention changes to what is the most likely next token, what is the most resonant next token to connect to this idea. So it's a little weird scenario, okay? But it's another little element that allow AIs to work in a different way. So it's not about the most likely, basically when they do this average for the most likely thing, so there is two things that happen. If AI is working on a topic that is that you are not an expert about, so you are, let's say, here at this level, AI, the average of AI is higher than you, therefore it pushes you up. Great, that is the best scenario. Okay, when AI, like for example, I don't know how to code, AI is really good at coding, it pushed me up. Okay, so my little knowledge get pushed to a level of a professional, one of the best, coder ever. Then, but if my expertise is higher, let's say, for example, in music or other things, much higher than AI, then it's gonna push me down, okay, push me to the average. Really annoying, really annoying, especially because most of the time we should work on our expertise, okay? So it's augmenting our expertise, but it's also augmenting what we are not expert. But in somehow you work on what you're passionate about, and on that field, you feel like yeah, it's pushing you down, which is really upsetting. But that is the most likely next token. What about if it's not the most likely next token? What is about is the most resonant next token towards my project, my idea, my vision, my philosophy, and so on? That would change everything. Okay. Again, AI is not gonna do it like, yeah, now it's so clear, I'm gonna do it. No, because it's been trained to do something different. But there is that element of the philosophy, the other element of the philosophy, the other element of the philosophy, and somehow we move an idiot AI to a much better idiot AI. I'm kidding about the idiot, but it's true. So I don't know if I'm kidding or not. But now there is another. I want to give a couple of few more so you understand even more what is this, how this thing works. So there's this one called the protocol of friction. So how it works, that basically AI living in this virtual probabilistic world goes at a speed that is insane. Okay, super fast, produce extremely fast, and it doesn't need to stop. It just go and go and go. We as a human, we are not like this. We live in the deterministic world. Everything is friction. To learn how to play the guitar here took years. Okay, it's not like boom, download a software and now I know how to do it. No, it took years, hours and hours, every day playing, learning, difficult, and then you don't even become, the amazing thing that you had in your mind. This is really, really difficult. So there's a long journey that lasts years. It never ends. Compared to AI, download the software, now it's an expert. Okay, so that is the frictionless world where AI lives. But we can't live in that way. Okay, we need friction to learn. But most importantly, we can, in that kind of speed, there's no creativity. Okay, for us, okay, we as a human, we need to slow down to have creativity. Okay, creativity is a process that sometimes takes time. Okay, that you need to sleep over. You need to, I don't know, do some activity. So adding friction to the process allow us to become more creative within the process. So sometimes it is about having AI create a sort of friction, cannot be just the speed all the time. So this is the concept. Then, of course, you need to analyze your process and say, okay, on this area, my creativity is really important. Okay, so it's not about using AI in these terms. It's about using AI in this other one, okay, of brainstorming, analyzing, thinking, collecting idea, and so on, instead of producing and speed, okay. So there are more, and I know I'm going to stop here, but I want to end by telling you, I just want to, there are so many that I somehow feel like I should say, but I think you got the point. So what should you do? Okay, because now you ask, okay, but now what shall I do? Simple. Okay, first of all is get to the article, and even give this article to the AI and say, let's talk about this. Is something that would be beneficial for us or not? Do you think it can help us or not? If not, it's not for you, okay? Or unless you feel it is. So you get this debate and you say, okay, let's see how we can implement this. Okay, and then you can do your own journey to implement it. Again, these philosophy are on the website, Augmentatism.com and CosmoDestiny.com. On Cosmodestiny, go and check the principles. Okay, that is what the AI needs to look at. And then you together, you create this, turn this philosophy into actions. Or the easiest way, okay, is to actually get this Resonant OS. Okay, Resonant OS can be installed in two ways. One is built for OpenClaw. Okay, so you start OpenClaw and then you get this Resonant OS that run on top. Link, when you subscribe to the newsletter, you're gonna receive inside the welcome email, you're gonna receive the link to where you can get the Resonant OS for free, no stress, nothing, no drama. Then I would suggest you to join the Discord channel. Okay, in our Discord server, what we do, there is this us, like the multi that we were talking about, and there are those artisan people like you that are building, creating, and so on. Plus, like I said at the beginning, Resonant OS, it's co-owned by the community. You get it, you co-own it. Okay, now there is a complex business model behind, but co-own it means also be able to make money out of it. Okay, so it's different from open source and free. It's open source, but you own it. Okay, that is the different thing. It's better than free. You own it. So my suggestion is to try Resonant OS for OpenClaw, and you will find a lot of other tools. Okay, the memory, advanced memory, and beautiful advanced memory. So where you can inject data inside the memory, so AI in a second know something. Okay, so this is called the injection, like took from the movie idea of Inception, where the AI, I mean the human would dream and someone would inject idea inside the dream. We do the same thing where we inject basically document, knowledge, protocols inside the AI, and the AI doesn't even aware that this is happening. Okay, just I know this now. Okay, let's work. You change topic. Now I know this, and because of how memory is done, it's basically it's a constant flow. You never need to restart. Okay, so memory get removed over time and get compressed, so it takes less space. It's a lossless compression, so it's basically keep the meaning, it keeps the narratives, but get removed all the noise, the repetition, and so on, and get remove the old one. So you have this constant chat with AI, never need to restart, lossless. Plus, there are the Logician. Logician is basically a system, a kind of, you can call it an agent, whatever, but it's not an LLM agent, okay? It's not an AI. It's a software, basically, which has managed a series of gates. And what it does, it forces the AI that lives in this probabilistic world, okay, completely lost and fluctuating and drifting and hallucinating and so on. But the Logician, what it does, it creates gates and say, okay, when I ask you to create a document, the Logician is asking to the AI, I want to see the document. Okay, I want to see. When I tell you to use this tool, I want to see the evidence that tool is being used. Okay, when I say, I don't know, save this inside the memory, the Logician is going to check, is it done or not? Because the AI, crazy enough, is going to tell you, yeah, I did it, fixed. You have a problem, that bug that you were talking about, yes, yeah, I did what you asked me for. And there is a high chance, like we are talking about around 42% chance that AI actually didn't do it. In a complex scenario, AI actually hallucinates. I mean, it's always an hallucination environment, okay? But sometimes in 42% of the time, hallucinate to a level that is damage for us. Okay, that's how bad it is. So this Logician, what it does is force AI at least to follow some specific steps. Those steps can be seen as a protocol. You have something that is similar but is different on N8N, okay? So these N8N are kind of protocols, okay? But they are kind of more mechanic things. AI instead, this Resonant OS, what it does, it can learn and say, okay, we've been doing this more than once. With these mistakes happen a series of time. Now, I'm going to create a specific protocol so this mistake is not going to happen again, because there is going to be a gate that's going to stop the AI to do something wrong. And I mean, there is so much to talk about this, but just to give you an idea, okay, so we were talking about building worlds. Okay, so we have this world now, okay, created by our philosophy, our vision, our values, and the business plan, and our identity, and everything else, okay? Everything is there. And because it's inside this probabilistic world of AI, everything is there, but everything fluctuating and is unstable. So with the Logician, what we can do, we can lock some of those elements. That doesn't mean that it's not going to fluctuate, because AI is going to always do it. Okay, there's no way to have an AI, an LLM like we have it, to actually be stable. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, it's also sometimes we can see is the beauty, is the reality of AI. So we need to leverage that part, but some elements we can lock them. Okay, so we can lock them in a deterministic way. So through this gate, through some behavior, some protocol, and so on. And therefore, Now we have something that's much more solid, okay, more reliable. And think about what I was saying earlier, the injection of those knowledge. I call them SS of T, which means single source of truth. Basically, I inject those documents that maybe is the business plan, for example. Okay, I inject the business plan inside AI. So now AI has it in front of it. It can see it. So the chance that it's going to ignore it are really minimum. It still can do it because it's a probabilistic environment. It still can, by chance, ignore even though it's in their face, but it's less likely. Okay, so which is much better than expecting AI to go into the RAG system, basically the traditional memory system. Go there, grab the right correct information, maybe not, but maybe it did, you never know. So then you need to trust that the AI actually has those knowledge collected and is going to use it in the right way. A lot of hope there, a lot of hope. So injecting the document now is there in front of the AI. It's really difficult to ignore it. So this is the memory, the Logician, and there is much more. And so I invite you to test it, and yeah, become part of the community. It's we are over 500, 550, something like this inside Discord, and it's growing really fast. So be part of it. Let's build together. And thanks for staying until now. And watch the next video. Like, subscribe, newsletter, Discord, and everything else. Okay.